Hi everyone, good to see you on my channel today. Today I will tell you a wonderful story. It is full of love and kindness. I hope you enjoy it and I wish you an enjoyable viewing experience. Thank you.
Hello, darling. Are you busy? Dina asked, calling her husband. Hi. A little distracting. Did you want something? Answered Sam, a little irritated. What would you like for dinner tonight? I don't know. You decide. I don't have time to discuss it, the man answered and hung up. Realizing that her husband was busy, Dina did not call back or annoy him with messages. She decided to cook something special to surprise and pamper her husband. After finishing work and getting ready, the woman hurried to the store to buy groceries. Entering the supermarket, a young and pretty brunette of 25 years attracted the attention not only of the guards, but also of all the men standing at the cash registers. No one could take his eyes off the slender and tall beauty in a leather skirt and heels, whose every step mesmerized and drove him crazy. At the same time, Dina didn't care, because she wasn't interested in other men, because she had a husband, and he was better than any of them. She bought everything she needed, returned home, threw off her beautiful and showy clothes, and changed into her home clothes. Realizing that there wasn't much time before her husband returned, Dina went to the kitchen and busied herself with a dinner that could pleasantly surprise Sam. A couple of hours later, she heard the front door slam, jumped out into the hallway, and saw a tired man returning from work. Throwing aside his briefcase with documents, exhausted Sam collapsed on a nearby post to catch his breath. How are you, honey? Are you tired? Dina asked with trepidation in her voice. How you think? Of course I'm tired. It's not like giving tours in a museum or scratching your tongue, answered Sam, who thought that his wife's work couldn't be called serious, difficult, or responsible. Yes, of course, you're absolutely right, calmly replied the wife, realizing that the spouse is tired, helped him take off his outerwear. What is it that we smell so good? Asked the husband, hearing the pleasant aromas coming from the kitchen. It's Italian pasta, chicken rolls, and salad, answered Dina, announcing the dinner menu. Let's see what you've made, Sam answered. He didn't even wash his hands. He went straight to the kitchen. Looking into the pots, the man refused the salad and was addicted to the rolls, not leaving his wife to even try them. After dinner, Sam retired to the living room to watch his favorite team's soccer game. Meanwhile, Dina also ate dinner because when Sam ate, she could not be distracted and tried to please him in everything, surrounding him with attention, affection, and care. After that, the woman washed the dishes and prepared food for breakfast, and then she went to the living room after her husband. Have you forgotten what holiday we have this weekend? Dina asked, subtly alluding to the 5-year wedding anniversary. Holiday? Your birthday isn't for a while, and mine wasn't that long ago, Sam said, scratching his head. Actually, it's our wedding anniversary. Oh yeah, that's right, it slipped my mind. I suppose we should invite everyone to the restaurant and make a few reservations. I thought about it, but now's not a good time, and you're having some difficulties at the bank. Maybe we can have a quiet dinner, inviting only the closest friends? Dina suggested, realizing that they were having temporary financial problems. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd invite my work colleague and a former classmate we went to school with. How would you feel about that? In principle, I'm all for it. In that case, I can invite my best friend. She's free and could keep him company. Oh, that's great. Tony's free too. Sam supported his wife's idea. So I call and arrange a meeting on Saturday. Dina decided to specify. Yes, I'll finish watching the match and call my friend back, confirmed her husband. Realizing that Sam agreed with her proposal, the young woman went to the kitchen, so as not to disturb her spouse, to call her friend to invite her to the restaurant. Hi, how are you? I hope I'm not distracting you, Dina asked, having reached her friend. Hi. No, I'm going to the club right now, Emma answered. Right, are you going out again looking for a cute guy? How would you like to get together on Saturday? It's Sam and I's anniversary, and we've decided to celebrate with friends. He'll invite a colleague from work, by the way. He's single, Dina said, realizing that the last fact would convince her friend to agree to her proposal. Oh well, if he's single, I'll definitely be there. You'll send me a message with the time and place of the meeting, agreed Emma, realizing that it was a great opportunity to make a new acquaintance. Yes, agreed. I'll text you later. She hung up the phone. Meanwhile, Sam finished watching the soccer game and finding a cell phone, also made a call to talk to a colleague and invite him to the restaurant. Having heard that there would be a beautiful and free girl at the dinner, Tony immediately agreed because he never missed a single skirt and decided not to miss such an opportunity. The next couple of days were not much different from the previous ones, for Sam and Dina were concentrated on their work and the small domestic problems inevitable in family life. They spent evenings together, sitting in front of the TV, watching their favorite movies and series. Closer to the weekend, the couple went to the store. They decided to give each other a gift. Having booked a restaurant and notifying friends about the time and place of the meeting, the couple went to dinner. They took a pre-ordered table. "Hi. Congratulations on your wedding anniversary. I hope this is just the first anniversary in your long married life," Tony said, appearing a few minutes after the couple arrived. He shook hands with his friend and then gave Dina a beautiful bouquet of flowers to congratulate her on this momentous day. "Hi, thank you. Meet my friend and colleague Tony, with whom we have been through quite a few trials, both at university and at the bank," Sam said, introducing his friend to his wife. "Hello, Tony. I've heard a lot about you and I'm glad we finally met," Dina replied politely, accepting the bouquet from her husband's best friend. "Am I too early or is your friend late?" Tony asked, worrying whether his plans to meet another free beauty would be ruined. "Emma will be here any minute," Dina said, as she suddenly noticed her friend entering the restaurant. "And there she was," Sam added, noticing the girl at the entrance. Tony turned around and saw a cute and neat blonde in a short skirt and stood up to greet her. "Hi, sorry I'm late. Congratulations on your wedding anniversary. I hope these get-togethers will become a good tradition and we will get together annually to celebrate this beautiful and momentous day for you," Emma said as she congratulated the couple. "I hope the same," Tony replied, smiling and continuing to scrutinize Dina's friend. "Meet my friend and colleague. This is Tony," introduced Sam. "I'm very glad to meet you," the friend added politely, kissing the girl's hand, which embarrassed her a little. "I am also very pleased to meet you," Emma replied, seeing a tall and stately man in an expensive suit with a pleasant fragrance of perfume. After getting acquainted and ordering food, the couple and their friends continued chatting, repeatedly congratulating Sam and Dina on the fact that they had tied their lives together. Tony turned out to be not only good-looking, but also a pleasant conversationalist, with whom Emma had surprisingly many common interests. At the same time, she realized that the man was an inveterate bachelor, not welcoming marriage and not considering serious relationships in the future. The girl was not embarrassed by this, because Tony was a pleasant, interesting, and very intelligent conversationalist, showing attention to her. A little drinking, talking, and dancing, the small company had a good time, celebrating the wedding anniversary of Dina and Sam. "I'm sorry, but we have to get ready, because we have a lot of things to do tomorrow," said Dina, realizing that it was too late and they had to go home. "Yes, tomorrow is a busy day, so we have to leave you." "Don't worry, the bill's paid, so you can sit alone," Sam added, realizing that Tony really liked his wife's friend. "Okay, happy holidays again. Thank you for a wonderful evening," Tony replied, saying goodbye to the couple. "I agree with Tony, it was an amazing evening. I hope we can do it again in a year," Emma added. She hugged and kissed her friend goodbye. Leaving the restaurant and ordering a cab, Dina and Sam headed home. "I hope you're not in a hurry," Tony asked when he was alone with Emma. "No, I have the whole night free and tomorrow off," replied the girl, hinting that she didn't have any plans. "Great. What do you say we order another bottle?" "I'm all for it," Emma replied with a smile on her face. They drank and danced some more, having a good time, getting to know each other better. A few more hours passed unnoticed, and the waiter, who approached them, informed them that the place was closing soon. Deciding to continue communicating, Tony invited the girl to his place and, without expecting it, received a lightning-fast consent. Upon arrival at the man's apartment, the couple felt that sympathy and passion are mutual, so they did not hide their emotions and, having merged in a kiss, went to the bedroom. Sunday for the couple was as quiet and calm as the rest of their married life. Waking up close to 10 in the morning, they went shopping, using their only full day off to get ready for the work week. Upon returning home, Sam and Dina got busy cleaning the apartment, and while the man cleaned the bedroom, his spouse went into the kitchen to prepare dinner. After spending time in the kitchen, they downloaded a romantic movie to watch in the evening, and staring at the computer screen, fell asleep in their arms. "Honey, wake up, or you'll be late for work," woke up Dina's spouse. Yes, just a minute," he reluctantly answered. "Breakfast is already on the table, so let's hurry up," answered his wife, and, sitting down near the mirror, began to make up in a hurry, getting ready for work. Looking at his watch, Sam realized that he was already late and jumped out of bed and started to get ready. Realizing that there was not much time, the man refused breakfast and, having a cup of coffee, went to work. "Good morning. The chief hasn't asked about me yet?" a frightened Sam asked Tony, arriving at work a few minutes later than usual. "Hi. Yeah, I don't think so. Don't worry. If anything, I'd cover for you," replied the work colleague. "That's good. Thank you," Sam replied, noticing that his colleague had a rather mysterious look on his face and a smile on his face. He wanted to ask what had caused it, but there wasn't time, for their conversation had been interrupted by the supervisor. "Tony, do an analysis of currency fluctuations over the last month. Walker, and you prepare a report with a list of all debtors on the car loan." Andrew ordered, and seeing that his subordinates began to fulfill his instructions, returned to his office. As he worked and continued to watch his comrade, Sam noticed that even the angry chief could not wipe the smile off his face. Curiosity piqued him, but he realized that he couldn't distract himself even for a minute, because he could be reprimanded or lose his bonus for talking out of turn. After waiting for his lunch break, Sam made 2 coffees and hurried to Tony's office to distract him from his work and to find out what was the reason for his good mood. "Take your mind off work. Have a coffee." "Oh, thank you. Why don't you tell me why you're so cheerful today?" Sam asked, burning with curiosity. "I'm just in a good mood. What's the big deal?" Tony answered, obviously hiding something. "Don't lie, there's no such thing as a good mood during work, especially for us. Are you hiding something?" "I'm not hiding anything, it's just personal." "Since when did you stop sharing your love triumphs and dirty stories with pretty girls?" "Come on, Tony, I'm interested. Who is she? What's her name? How old is she?" Sam continued interrogating, trying to find out something interesting. "Remember the day before yesterday, you and Dina left early and Emma and I stayed at the restaurant." "Oh, really? With Dina's friend?" Sam asked loudly and without hiding his surprise. "Quietly, yeah, with her. We talked and danced and had a great time. I haven't had such a good time in a long time. It's like we're on the same wavelength and feel each other," Tony said enthusiastically, talking about the night he'd spent with Emma. "That's great, congratulations. So maybe if everything's going so well, you'll try to get to know her better, to establish some kind of relationship. You know, see if things work out." No, a relationship is out of the question. You know I'm a bachelor and I'm not going to get married or let anyone into my personal space. I'm only 30, I'm too young for that. A few more years I want to have fun, having fun with beautiful and free girls without complexes, and then I will think about finding a permanent girlfriend for family life. Lucky you, even envy a little. You are free and do what you want, and I have not had it for a long time," Sam noted with a note of sadness in his voice. "But you have a beautiful wife who looks after you, takes care of you, cooks and creates home comfort. Believe me, it's a rare luck to find such a wonderful girl who can surround you with affection and care," Tony answered, supporting his friend, thinking that he was very lucky to have Dina. "Yeah, I guess you're right," Sam agreed, though he kept thinking that he'd like to switch places with Tony for a week. Meanwhile, Dina arrived at the museum. After meeting with her boss and discussing the plan for the next tours, the woman realized that she had arrived too early. The museum is too quiet and boring in the morning, since there are no school tours, and tourists and other visitors usually don't arrive for tours until the afternoon. Realizing that she had a few hours to spare, Dina decided to call her friend. "Hi, am I interrupting?" No, I don't have any clients right now, so I'm free," answered Emma, who works as a makeup artist in a beauty salon nearby. "Oh, that's cool. Why don't you meet me at the coffee shop for coffee?" "Yeah, we could do that. I'll be there in 15 minutes. "Okay, I'll be waiting for you," Dina answered and went to the cafe, ordering coffee and dessert for herself and her friend. Soon Emma came to meet her friend and, deciding not to put the secret away, began to tell her how her weekend had gone. "Remember when you and Sam went away and left Tony and me alone? Well, he turned out to be a very interesting and pleasant young man." "Oh, really? You two talked? Did I get a chance to dance at your wedding?" Dina asked excitedly. "What are you talking about?" "What wedding? We just had a nice time. Then we went to his place and made it a memorable night, but nothing more than that. It's just a small and pleasant pranks of 2 free people, but don't be under any illusions about the future," objected Emma, not planning to change her status. "You what? You can't do that. It's not right. You're a girl, you shouldn't behave like that. Animal instincts and lusts will not lead to anything good, began to indignantly rid Dina's morals, explaining that it is wrong to act this way. Oh, you're in moralizing mode again. Stop it. I don't need lectures. I'm a grown-up girl. Moreover, it's only you who are so nauseatingly right and decent, and people need a rest and a good move from time to time. I'm sorry, but I don't understand you. I'm not surprised you're judgmental about all this. How Sam managed to seduce you and get you married if you're such a prude. Emma wondered aloud. We met and married because we truly love each other. That's how it should be, to have mutual sympathy, feelings, and not just reflexes and instincts like in some animals. Come on, I know you don't approve, but that's your business. We had a good time and that's all that matters. Everything else is secondary. Well, it's your business, but don't bring a present after the next meeting, snorted Dina, reminding her friend that it would be good to protect herself. Don't worry, everything is done wisely, answered Emma, having decided to reassure her friend. At some point, the conversation was interrupted by a phone call. Yes, I'm listening to you, said Dina, answering the phone. Where are you? We have a group of tourists arriving in 10 minutes, for whom we need to conduct an express tour of our museum, said the boss, demanding that the woman immediately return to her workplace. I understand, John. I'll be there in a couple of minutes, Dina answered guiltily and hung up the phone. Chief. Yes, I need you to return to your workplace immediately. I'm sorry, but I have to run. Of course I understand. Good luck to you there, Emma replied, saying goodbye to her friend and staying in the cafe for a couple more minutes to finish her coffee in peace. Returning to the museum, Dina had time to cross with the chief and apologize for her short absence, and then went to the welcome hall to meet a group of tourists and start a short tour, showing the main values and the most unusual exhibits. At the end of the day, Dina, realizing that her husband would be home soon, went to the nearest store. Having bought groceries and a bottle of wine, the woman hurried home, and not having time to wash her hands, went to the kitchen to prepare dinner before Sam crossed the threshold of the apartment. Having coped with her task perfectly, Dina met her hungry and tired husband. By the way, I have another nice surprise for you, Dina said, hoping that she could surprise her spouse. Yes, I am intrigued. What is it? Sam asked. This weekend we're going to a new art gallery. I'm sure you'll love it, she said excitedly, noticing that her husband's face didn't show the joy she had expected. The gallery? Well, I wouldn't say no, but it won't work. Why not? Don't you like my surprise? Dina asked sadly. No, it's wonderful and I keep you company, but this weekend I have to go to another city on a business trip. A business trip? A business trip? That's kind of weird, the wife replied in surprise. It's not my whim, it's his order, Sam replied irritably. Okay, I understand everything. If necessary, then go, of course, Dina replied, trying not to make her husband angry. A couple of days later, Sam left on a planned business trip, and Dina spent the weekend alone. With no plans for those days, the woman cleaned the apartment, went grocery shopping, and prepared a delicious meal to meet her husband. Deciding that the ticket should not go to waste, Dina went to the art gallery. In order not to go alone, she called her friend and offered to keep her company, but Emma did not like entertainment for pensioners and decided that she would rather go to a nightclub. The friend invited Dina with her, but she refused, because a married woman has nothing to do in such places. After going to the art gallery, her routine has not changed much and, staying within four walls, Dina decided to kill free time by watching a couple of movies and her favorite TV series. Meanwhile, Sam goes to a country hotel. Once there, he greets a long familiar administrator and, taking the key to the pre-rented room, goes up to the top floor. Opening the door to the room, the man stepped inside and, dropping his suitcase on the threshold, he went to the bathroom to shower and freshen up. Wrapped in a robe and after ordering champagne and fruit for the room, Sam heard a knock on the door. When he opened it, he saw a red-haired girl of about 20 in a tight red skirt with an equally bright blouse and makeup. Hi, you finally came. I missed you so much, Sam said. He hugged the beauty and dragged her to his room, then closed the door behind him. Hi, my good man, I missed you too, replied the girl, kissing the man passionately. How are you doing at work? The chief doesn't pester you much, Sam asked. Not as much as he's nagging you, answered Sarah ironically, who works as a teller in the same bank as Sam. Oh, that's good, because I'm getting tired of him. It happens. I hope I'm helping you relax and forget about all these problems, Sarah replied with a smile on her face, reminding them that they don't have the most boring job and pastime. Oh yes, you're never boring, Sam replied excitedly, remembering all the encounters he'd had with his young mistress over the last 6 months. Yeah, but you've been hiding me from everyone. Well, you know that I'm married and our relationship must be kept secret, both from Dina and from the staff. Realizing that talking takes too much time, the lovers waited for champagne and, without wasting a minute, went to bed. All day long the couple never left the confines of the bed, interrupting only to rest a bit, drink water, and have a cigarette. When night falls, they don't go to bed and watch soap operas, but hang out in a nightclub, partying and dancing till they drop. Sam repeatedly notices his wife's phone calls, but realizing that she will expose him by his drunken voice, ignores Dina and doesn't answer her. He doesn't want to ruin the drive and decides he can talk to her later, making the excuse that he was too busy. When are you going to break up with your boring wife already? Sarah decides to ask Sam again, resting in bed after a night out. Is this what you're talking about again? I told you that I'm not ready yet, and I need to find the right moment. And when will that moment be? We make a great couple, and with her, it's like you're waiting for retirement. Decide something or I'll switch to someone else, the mistress said, trying to pressure Sam to be more active. As soon as you do. Yes, I'm having fun with you, but my divorce shouldn't ruin my image, so it's worth waiting a bit. After spending the whole weekend with his mistress at the hotel, Sam returns home. Opening the door to the apartment, he hears a pleasant aroma coming from the kitchen and realizes that his wife has prepared something delicious again, anticipating his return. Hearing that her husband had returned, Dina ran out into the hallway, trying on a new evening dress, which could pleasantly surprise Sam with a deep cleavage. This appearance surprised the man, because he was used to his wife meeting him at home in a robe with food stains and slippers in the form of dogs, which he was terribly tired of. Wow, why are you suddenly so spectacular? He asked. I decided to surprise him. How do you like it? You like it? Yeah, I love it, Sam answered, and after taking off his outerwear, he grabbed his wife and dragged her into the bedroom. Maybe you should have dinner first. I've cooked so many delicious things there, tried to stop her husband Dina. Later, everything later, Sam replied, putting his wife first. After spending time together and returning to the kitchen to eat, Dina decided to talk to her husband to ask him how his business trip had gone. How did the business trip go? Did it work out? Yes, it was good. I worked even better than I planned. Why didn't you return my phone calls? I was worried. I'm sorry, my bad. I was very busy and couldn't answer. I'll try not to do that again. Sam answered guiltily and started kissing his wife. He did everything to make her forget about his absence and stop asking uncomfortable questions, answering and lying to which was becoming increasingly difficult. The next day, Sam was once again in a hurry to get to work. Meeting Sarah on the bank's doorstep, he simply said hello to the girl, as he did to the rest of his colleagues, trying not to draw attention to himself. Toward the end of the working day, he managed to free himself from all his boss's errands to meet his friend. Forget it. Let's get some rest. Look, what girls are beautiful. Let's meet them, Tony suggested, noticing two model-looking beauties sitting nearby. Are you out of your mind? I'm actually married, and this yellow circle on my finger is not a piece of jewelry, but a golden cage. Come on, we're just having a chat. No one's forcing you to go out with them. No, I'm married, and if Dina finds out, she'll kick my ass. All right, but I'll get acquainted, Tony answered, and saying goodbye to his friend, went to the next table. Having finished his mug of beer, Sam realized that there was nothing more to do here and went home. After talking to the beauties, Tony realized that they were too boring and uninteresting, so he didn't waste his time and, referring to a fictitious call from the chief, left the bar. Deciding that the evening should not be wasted, the man called Emma and offered to meet her. The girl gladly agreed because she liked their communication, accompanied by a pleasant leisure time. Having met, the couple immediately went to Tony's house to spend the night together again. Good morning. I hope you don't mind me tending to the kitchen, Emma asked, waking Tony up with sweet kisses and the aroma of coffee. Good morning. You can do whatever you want, Tony replied, realizing that he felt good and comfortable around this girl. Even so, should I move my things to your place right away? Emma decided to joke. No, not so immediately. I'm not ready for such turns, answered Tony, almost choking on his coffee. Calm down, I was joking. I'm not interested in you as a fiancé, replied the girl, calming down the nervous man. Oh, you and jokes. Well, whatever they are. Thank you that we could have fun. And I wanted to go to the club with Dina this weekend, but she was sitting at home, even though her husband was on a business trip. Sam? What business trip? We didn't have any trips planned, Tony replied in surprise. I don't know, that's what she said. Maybe she's confused, Emma replied, realizing she could be wrong about something. Or maybe I don't know everything. It's none of our business, Tony replied, trying to change the subject. At the same time, he thought that it was strange, because men rarely cheat on their wives for no reason, and the excuse of a business trip was the best way to go out. At the same time, Tony doubted the validity of his assumption, because just yesterday he'd offered to meet and talk to girls, and Sam had sharply refused, justifying himself with marriage. After chatting some more, Tony drove Emma to work. He kissed the girl goodbye, went to the bank. Hi, what's up? How was your weekend? Asked a coworker, meeting Sam. Hi, it was fine. The weekend, as always, spent at home with my wife, Sam replied. Oh, really? I know it's not like that. What are you talking about? Sam asked me suspiciously. Well, I talked to Emma, and she said that Dina spent the weekend alone. Did you find a mistress after all? Who is she? Tony asked. I don't have anyone. Don't make things up, replied his colleague sharply. Come on, I'm curious. Do I know her, or is she so scary that you hide so carefully? Do you have nothing to do? It's the beginning of the workday, and you're just hanging around, Sam replied, trying to chase his friend out of the office. No, I don't have much to do, so tell me who you're running around with. I won't tell you anything, because there's nothing to talk about. Yes, of course, that's how I believed you, Tony replied, continuing to tease his colleague, asking him uncomfortable questions. Leave me alone and mind your own business. You better watch your life, and don't bother me with stupid questions, the colleague answered rudely and almost pushed Tony out of the office, closing the door behind him. Well, I'll still get to the truth and find out who she is, Tony muttered under his nose and went to his workplace so as not to continue the conversation. Meanwhile, Dina, who had arrived at work a little earlier than usual, quickly went around the museum to see if everything was in order and ready for another tour. Realizing that everything was fine and she was ready for the first visitors, the woman decided to have a coffee and went to the staff room. A few minutes later, Dina's boss came in here as well, and seeing the girl in the far corner, headed towards her. From his appearance, it was hard to tell if the chief was angry or just had no mood, but one expression on his face frightened the woman, causing her fear and terror. Hello, Dina. Can I steal a few minutes of your time? Hello, John. Yeah, sure. We have 2 foreign groups of tourists arriving tomorrow, the day after tomorrow at the latest. They'd like to visit our country estate museum. I realize you haven't worked there in years, but I have no one else to rely on. Could you give 2 tours there? They are scheduled for 2 days, so it would be easier for you to get a hotel room there and spend the night. Don't worry, the lodging and travel expenses will be covered. Well, I don't know, I had a little different plans. I understand everything, but I trust only you, because you are our best guide, replied the chief, hoping that this will convince the young woman. I understand, I agree. When should I go there? Dina agreed, realizing that it was inconvenient to refuse the chief, and it would threaten unpleasant consequences for her. Tomorrow morning, you can go to see everything again. Maybe you can go over old information and manuals to refresh your memory. Okay, I'll take the first bus to the manor, Dina replied, and after finishing her coffee, she went to her workplace to do some planned excursions. In the evening, Dina returned home and went to the nearest supermarket to buy groceries, as was her habit. Once in the apartment, the woman, without undressing, hurried to the kitchen and, putting on an apron, began cooking. Realizing that her husband would be all alone for a few days, Dina cooked so that it was possible to feed not only Sam, but all of his colleagues. Soon her husband came home, and Dina met him on the doorstep, throwing herself into his arms. Sam was not happy about it, because he was very tired and wanted to lie down on the couch in front of the TV as soon as possible. Honey, I have something to tell you, Dina said in an uncertain voice. What is it? Can't you see I'm resting? Sam asked unhappily. I have to go to the suburbs tomorrow, because 2 groups of foreign tourists are coming, for whom I have to give a tour in the Manor Museum. The chief asked me, and I couldn't say no. Go ahead, what's it got to do with me? The thing is, the tours are spread over 2 days, and it's easier for me to stay there than to go back and forth every time. So you're going overnight? I don't like it, my husband said indignantly, not trusting such trips. Yes, but what can I do about it? Don't worry, everything will be fine. You know that I'm always on the phone and I'm hardly going out of the room, Dina answered, trying to calm down the distrustful spouse. I'm still against it. I can't say no, John's counting on me. If that's the case, then do as you please, then why are you telling me about it? Sam muttered under his breath, and without waiting for an answer from his wife, went to the balcony for a smoke. The next morning, Dina woke up at the first alarm clock and without wasting a minute, hurried to the bathroom. She showered and put on makeup, then went to the kitchen to make her husband breakfast in bed. 15 minutes later, she was on her way to the bedroom with a tray in her hands to surprise Sam. Kissing his cheek, Dina noticed that her husband was awake and immediately served breakfast. I don't need anything. I'm not hungry, Sam answered and jumped out of bed and went to take a shower. Don't be mad and have breakfast. I'll leave everything on the table, said Dina, realizing that it was time for her to leave. Okay, shouted back Sam. Would you like to say goodbye, or are you that busy out there? Asked the woman, who felt bad that her husband didn't want to seek her off or give her a kiss before the road. Have a safe trip, replied Sam dryly, without leaving the bathroom. Realizing that her husband was angry and resentful, but she didn't have time for a showdown and reconciliation, Dina left for the train station. Meanwhile, Sam noticed that his wife had left the house and went into the kitchen to get something to eat. Left at home completely alone, the man felt a kind of freedom, and it seemed to him for a moment that even the air in the apartment became cleaner and fresher. At the same time, his mood left much to be desired, because Sam was angry that his wife did not listen to him and went on a business trip with an overnight stay. From his experience, he suspected that it could be a lie and deception, but he dismissed these thoughts, realizing that Dina would never betray him because of her strong love and affection. Realizing that he was already late, the man hurried to work, but still arrived later than expected. Meeting with his boss, Sam received a reprimand which only aggravated his already bad mood, making him even more angry and irritable. Determined to remedy the situation, he waited until his lunch break and went to the cafe across from the bank and called his mistress to arrange a meeting. Hello, my dear. How are you feeling? Hi, I'm fine. Why are you calling? You could have just come up to me and asked me. I don't want anyone to get suspicious, and I don't want to draw attention to our conversation. How long are you going to hide me? Should I live my whole life in the shadow of your wife? Sarah asked irritably. Don't be angry. Let's meet tonight, Sam replied, suggesting a date. What will your wife say? Don't worry, she won't know anything. All right, then you can come to my house at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'll call you when I get there, Sam replied, summarizing the conversation. Finishing his coffee, the man returned to work and, not wanting to spoil his mood, focused on the documents, trying not to get in the chief's eyes. As soon as the workday was over, Sam hurried home to shower and change before going to his mistress' house. Pulling up to her driveway, the man called Sarah, letting her know he was waiting for her downstairs. So where are we going tonight? The young mistress asked, getting into the car with Sam. What do you say we experiment and go to my house? Sam suggested. Are you out of your mind? How's your wife gonna react to that? You seem to be afraid of her and don't want her to know about our liaison, Sarah replied, surprised at her lover's boldness. Don't worry, she's away on a business trip, so the apartment is empty and the bed is cold. I hope you'll help me warm it up. Let's go already, Sarah replied, nodding affirmatively at Sam's question. Upon arriving home, the man changed into his slippers and retired to the bathroom to wash his hands. Meanwhile, Sarah went to the kitchen, looking with interest at the interior of her lover's apartment, where she found herself for the first time. The girl was surprised and somewhat shocked by the cleanliness and splendor surrounding her on all sides. Soon Sam joined her and offered her some drinks to relax and make the evening more pleasant. Doesn't this cleanliness freak you out? Sarah asked. No, I like it. It's always like this with us, Sam responded calmly. And you like living with such a bore and cleaner too, continued the mistress, looking everywhere she could. Well, sometimes the love of order is annoying, but it's cozy at home. It's strange, you seem to be such a driving man. I thought that you leave fireworks and emotions, but not all this. Maybe you're right, but Dina's doing the best she can. Yeah, she is. Aren't you bored with such a perfect wife? Sarah asked as she continued to banter and tease Sam about his wife. I'm sorry, but I don't want to discuss it. Dina's not home right now, and I'd rather not talk about her, Sam replied, trying to change the subject of the conversation. I see, okay, agreed the girl. After a few drinks, the couple spent some time together and deciding that it was too boring at home, went to a nightclub to have some fun and dance. Once in the nightclub, Sam and Sarah first of all headed to the bar to have a couple of drinks, raising their spirits. While dancing, the lovers got hot and, not noticing what was going on around them, embraced, merging in a passionate kiss. At this moment, Tony and Emma appeared on the threshold of the club, who also decided to spend time in a noisy place where you can drink and dance. Seeing the passionate couple in the middle of the dance floor, Tony, who had already realized everything, took Emma's hand and dragged her back outside. Let's go, there's nothing for us to do here. Wait a minute. Was that Sam? Asked Emma, who couldn't believe her own eyes. Yes, I don't want to stay here and we don't need him to see us, Tony replied, not letting go of the girl's hand. Stop. We have to go back and sort this out. We can't just leave it like this, Dina's friend said indignantly, realizing that her husband was cheating on her. It's none of our business. Let's get out of here. What do you mean it's none of our business? Dinah is my best friend, and I have to call her to tell her what we just saw. No, we're not doing that. If you call her right now and tell her, you'll give us away, and Sam will realize it. What's more, we have no proof, and he could hide, realizing he's almost been exposed. So you're suggesting we keep quiet? I think we should wait for a more proper and opportune moment before telling your friend everything, Tony replied, insisting on his position. Emma still wanted to go back to the club and deal with Sam in person, but she realized that Tony was right and agreed to his suggestion. Deciding that the evening shouldn't go to waste, the couple headed to another nightclub to have some fun. A couple of hours later, Tony realized that it was time for him to go home as he had to drive to work early in the morning. Emma didn't want to go home alone, and the man, realizing this, invited her back to his place again. Emma did not refuse, because next to Tony she feels good and never gets bored. In the morning, the girl woke up the man with kisses and hot coffee in bed, reminding him that he was already late for work. Leaving Emma at his house and giving her the spare keys, Tony hurried to the bank. Hi, how are you? Sam asked, meeting Tony on the bank's doorstep. Hi, I went to a nightclub last night and I think I had a little too much to drink. And you? What did you do last night? Tony asked. My wife is on a business trip, so I spent the evening as boring as possible. I had a beer and sat at home in front of the TV, watching the English Championship. I see, yes, really boring, replied the colleague, realizing that his friend was lying. Deciding not to talk about the fact that he saw him yesterday with his mistress, Tony did not tell anything and just went to the workplace to avoid unnecessary conversations with disgruntled bosses. Closer to evening, Dina returned home and first of all, hurried to the kitchen to check the refrigerator. Noticing that most of the prepared food her husband had not touched, the woman realized that there was no point in cooking dinner. After taking a shower and getting some rest, she heated up dinner and waited for Sam. Hearing that her husband had come home from work, Dina ran into the hallway to greet him and give him a hug, as she had already missed him. Oh, hi, you're back already? Sam replied without mood. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, I got here a couple hours ago. Why don't we have dinner? I've already prepared everything, answered Dina, inviting her husband to the table. You're so good at everything. You have no idea what a business trip it was. The foreign groups were completely different from each other. On the first day, everything was so calm and good that I could not be happy, but today's group is something unbearable. One went to one side, the second one decided to touch a valuable exhibit. The third one disappeared altogether. Dina began to tell me inspiringly, wanting to share her impression of her work. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested, and my hand hurts, Sam waved away, not wanting to listen to his wife. I see, the woman replied sadly, her mood fading at the same moment. She noticed that lately her husband had grown cold to her and practically stopped paying attention to her, but decided that it was just fatigue or a little problem at work. Before going to bed, Dina tried to talk to her husband once more, but he ignored this opportunity, turned away to another side and fell asleep. Waking up an hour earlier than her husband, Dina hurried to the kitchen and decided to treat her husband with something tasty. Having prepared breakfast, the woman returned to the bedroom and, gently kissing Sam, gently woke him up. Returning to the kitchen, she beckoned him to follow her, but he reluctantly rolled over to his other side, ignoring his wife's invitation. When Dina tried to insist, Sam got angry and refused to eat breakfast, as he was tired of his wife treating him like a small child, surrounding him with constant affection, care, and warmth. After drinking coffee, the man left for work, and a few minutes later, Dina also left the house, going to the museum. The day was spoiled from the very morning, so the woman worked without much mood and enthusiasm. Several excursions she conducted on automatic, and the last one she refused, referring to fatigue from the road. The boss got into the position because Dina helped him out and conducted complex excursions in the country museum estate, so he let her go a little early. Leaving work, the woman did not want to go home, realizing that her husband was still at the bank, and decided to call her friend and propose to her a meeting in a cafe. Emma was not busy, so she gladly agreed to meet her best friend. "Hi, it's good to see you." "I be too," answered Dina, who smiled back at her friend, but could not hide her emotions and sadness about her husband's attitude. "Did something happen to you? Are you sad, or is it just me?" Emma asked, reading her friend's mood from her face and look. "Everything seems to be fine, but I'm sad about some things. I wanted to consult with you, because you are more experienced in relationships and you know a lot about male psychology." "Well, that's an interesting start, so tell me, what happened?" "Sam's behavior and attitude have changed a lot in recent months. He's not interested in my work and problems, he doesn't listen to anything I tell him, and in general he's become kind of cold. Sometimes I chase away bad thoughts, but I get the impression that he's fed up with me," Dinah said sadly, telling me everything that was troubling her. "I don't want to upset you," Emma said meaningfully, pausing for a moment before continuing. "Well, speak up," Dina replied, wanting to know what her friend was thinking as soon as possible. Usually such an attitude was a sign that a man had someone else. "No, it can't be. I'm sure Sam still loves me and would never go out with anyone else." "Unfortunately, he did," Emma replied sadly, realizing that she didn't have the strength and will to hold herself back by hiding the truth from her friend. "What do you mean?" "You know something?" Dinah asked in surprise. "Yes, last night I was in a nightclub and saw him in the arms of a young girl." "That can't be true. Maybe you're confused or mistaken?" Dina asked, trying to find an excuse for her husband. "Alas, no. Moreover, not only I saw it, but Tony saw it too, because he was with me. I'd like to talk to him personally. Can you call him to come over or make an appointment to meet him soon?" "Yeah, no problem," Emma replied, and taking out her cell phone, she called Tony. The girl asked the man to pop over to a cafe near her work for a few minutes, and he couldn't refuse her. Already 10 minutes later, the girlfriend saw a car parked not far from the entrance to the cafe. Once inside, he spotted Dina and Emma sitting at a far table and headed over to them. "Hi, I'm sorry, but I literally have 5 minutes, so let's get to the point. What were you called in for?" Tony said, running out of work while the chief left for another branch of the bank. "Hi, is it true you saw my husband with his mistress?" Dina asked, trying to find out the truth. "I told you to keep quiet," the man said unhappily, glancing at Emma. "It's my friend, I can't do otherwise," the girl answered confusedly. "Yes, unfortunately, it's true. He really was with his mistress. Moreover, I know her perfectly well. This is Sarah, our young cashier, who appeared in the branch a little more than 6 months ago. They hardly ever cross paths at work, and if someone had told me that, I wouldn't have believed they could be lovers." "I see," Dina said sadly, holding back her tears. "But please don't give me away. Sam and I work in the same bank, and I don't need any trouble at work," said Tony, realizing that it was time for him to go back, said goodbye to his friends, hurrying to his car. "I'll go too." Right after the man left, Dina said, and after saying goodbye to her friend, went home. Not wanting to return to the apartment, the woman wandered the streets, worried and cried a lot. She realized that a conversation with her husband was inevitable, but she did not know how to discuss such things with him and where to start. Once inside the apartment, Dina realized that Sam was still at work. Trying to distract herself, she started to prepare dinner when she heard her husband come home. "Sam, I'm waiting for you in the kitchen," Dina shouted, not running out into the hallway like before. "Hi, how are you? How are things at work?" asked the man, meeting his spouse in the kitchen. "Do you really start to be interested in this?" Dina asked in surprise. "I was just asking, what's the big deal?" Sam asked, changing his tone abruptly. "It's okay. I'm sorry. I have a serious conversation with you. That's how. I wondered. And what do you want to talk to me about? While I was on a business trip, you were seen at a nightclub with some young red-headed hottie. Are you cheating on me? Dina asked, which stunned Sam. No, come on, I didn't cheat on you. Who told you that? It doesn't matter. You just found out. That man is lying to you. Don't believe him. You are the only one I have and I love only you. Sam continued to deny, trying to get out of the situation. You've changed, and I don't recognize you. You used to be a sweet, kind, considerate, and caring man that I loved. Now you are cold, aloof, and a terrible liar, Dina said, losing control of herself and beginning to reproach her husband for the fact that his attitude to her has changed a lot. Yes, I have. Because I'm tired of all this. You're a loyal dog, and I need a drive, Sam said in response, notwithstanding his wife's reproaches. Realizing that a joint life is impossible, the man with a smirk on his face went to the bedroom and took out a suitcase from the closet, began to put his things. Come on, can I help you? Dinah asked emotionally. Thank you, I can do it myself. I'm going out to have fun and get emotions, and you will be sorry, smirked the husband, not doubting that the wife without him will be bad, and she will come to him on his knees, begging to return to the family. Having collected all of his things, Sam left the apartment, leaving Dina alone. Crying, the woman wanted support, and realizing she had no one closer, decided to call her friend and tell her that Sam had left her. Meanwhile, Sam left the apartment, went downstairs, threw his things in the trunk, and drove away. Driving through the evening city, the man pondered whether he had done the right thing and whether he had been in a hurry to break up with his wife. Remembering their acquaintance and the first years of their life, he felt a little sad because they had been good together. At the same time, Sam was tired of the excessive devotion of his beloved woman, round-the-clock patronizing him with her care and attention. Deciding that he was right for something new and more exciting, Sam went to Sarah's house. When the doorbell rang, the girl ran to open the door and saw her lover with a suitcase in its hands. Hello, my love. Hi, why did you tell me you were coming? Sorry, it was spontaneous. You wanted me to break up with my wife. So now the day has come, Sam said, trying to accept it as an established fact. Is that true? You finally did it? Sarah asked, not believing her ears. Yes, I left her. Yay, shouted the mistress and threw herself into the man's arms. Grabbing him by the hand and dragging him into the apartment, Sarah closed the door and, without undressing Sam, dragged him after her into the bedroom to show him the full extent of her joy and happiness. Waking up to the annoying and persistent alarm clock, Sam noticed that Sarah wasn't in bed. Getting out of bed with difficulty, the man went to the kitchen to get breakfast. There was nothing on the table, so he decided to look in the refrigerator, digging among the pots and pans. To his great disappointment, the pots and pans were empty, as was the refrigerator. Hearing that the girl was in the bathroom, Sam headed toward her to ask where his breakfast was. Good morning, kid. You busy in there? Hi, I'm putting on makeup. Did you want something? Sarah asked without opening the bathroom door. Well, actually, I wanted breakfast. Are you gonna cook or what? Sam asked. Sorry, I don't have time for that. If you want, you can cook yourself something, said the girl, who wasn't going to cook anything. On your own? I don't know how. Maybe you'll make an exception and make some coffee? Sam asked, hoping the girl would go along with him. Look, Dina's the one who's been running around on her hind legs trying to please you. I'm not going to do that, so get used to it or go back to her. Sarah replied sharply, not liking Sam's annoying questions. Aren't you going to have breakfast or something? I'll have a snack at work, or at least I'll go to a cafe nearby. Sam realized that his hopes for breakfast had melted like snow in April. The man returned to his bedroom and, realizing that there was nothing to look forward to, began to get ready for work. A few minutes later, Sarah popped out of the bathroom and, noticing that Sam was planning to leave, stopped him, reminding him that now they didn't have to hide and would be going to work together. Sam didn't like it much, as he didn't want to advertise their connection, but realized he didn't have much choice. Half an hour later, Sarah finally got ready and the couple went to the bank. When they arrived at work, the girl waited until Sam parked the car nearby. She took his hand. The man tried to gently remove his hand, but the small and fragile girl's grip was stronger than he could have expected. Realizing that there was no choice and time was running inexorably, Sam went to the bank with Sarah, holding hands. The security guard at the entrance and other co-workers were surprised to notice that the lawyer and the teller entered work like a love couple. Tony was also present, having also seen this picture. After waiting for the boss to hand out errands and return to his office, Tony made 2 cups of coffee and went over to Sam's office to talk to him. "Hi, you got a few minutes?" "Hi, yeah, sure, come on in. I got you some coffee here. Hope you don't mind?" Tony asked. "Oh, coffee, come on," Sam replied happily and enthusiastically, enjoying a cup of hot coffee. "I'm sorry, I know I'm getting in the wrong business, but maybe you can tell me how to understand what I and the other members of our team saw this morning." "You mean Sarah and I walked into work holding hands?" "Yes. Is there a bigger topic of discussion and gossip? As a friend, I want to know the truth," Tony replied, anticipating his best friend's story. "Last night we had a not-so-pleasant conversation with my wife. Dina somehow found out that I have a mistress and made a terrible scandal. At first, I wanted to explain everything and hoped that we could avoid a major quarrel. When I heard the accusations against me, I flared up, packed a suitcase, and left the house, went to Sarah. Well, that was a fun night. How long have you and Sarah been dating?" 6 months, maybe a little longer." "Wait, that's about how long she's been working here. You've been in touch with her since day one?" Tony asked in surprise. "Yeah. The first day I offered her a ride home after work, and that's how it started," Sam said, telling her how Sarah had become his mistress. "And he seemed like such a quiet, family-oriented man," his friend commented with irony in his voice. "Are you going to lecture me?" "No, I know what I did was wrong, but it's too late to fix it." "No, I'm not going to teach you. You're a grown-up boy. Tell me, did you make the right choice and did you make the right decision?" "Leave me alone. It's my life and I'll do what I think is right." "Go to work. I have a lot to do," Sam replied irritably, not wanting to continue this conversation. Concentrating on the business papers and the chief's assignments, Sam plunged into his work, trying not to think about anything. Soon his boss visited him and, after reviewing his work, praised his subordinate for the first time in a long time, as he had coped brilliantly with his task. This dialogue only further motivated Sam, and the man, having no plans for the next few hours, decided to work longer. The working idyll was spoiled by Sarah, who finished her work and walked into her lover's office to remind him that it was time for them to go home. "Honey, let's go already. We still need to go to some cafe to have dinner, as there is nothing at home and the refrigerator is completely empty." "What do you mean? You're not going to cook tonight either?" "I've been working and I'm tired and I want to rest." "Yeah, I know, but I've been working too, and I haven't even had breakfast, let alone lunch." "I'm hungry," said a hungry Sam, feeling his stomach growling. "Let's eat at the cafe. I wanted something homemade." "I'm sorry, but I don't have to cook for you, and I don't owe you anything. I wasn't born to stand at the stove, so if you don't like it, I won't keep it," Sarah said in a harsh tone, demanding respect. No, it's fine," Sam replied, getting very angry, but deciding not to show it. On the way home, the couple stopped at the first cafe they saw and, taking a free table, ordered dinner. "By the way, I wanted to ask you, when will you divorce your wife and how will you divide the property?" Sarah asked, showing financial interest in the man. "I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. It's quite possible that I'll just take the car for myself and let the apartment stay with my wife. I'm not going to kick her out on the street," Sam said, deciding it was the right thing to do. "Are you mocking me now, or are you serious?" Sarah asked indignantly, openly showing her displeasure. "No, I'm dead serious. Is there something wrong with you?" "Of course I'm unhappy. Are you going to live in my apartment?" "Yeah, for now. Is there a problem with that? We can rent a place if you want, but I think it's more reasonable and economical," Sam answered, arguing his position. "I see," Sarah replied in a disgruntled voice, deciding not to continue the argument and to talk about it later. After dinner, the couple returned home, and after some rest they went to bed. In the morning, Sam woke up to the fact that his stomach was starting to hurt. Realizing that he wouldn't have to wait for breakfast, he took a couple of pills and, while the girl cleaned herself up, ran outside to find the nearest coffee shop. Finding a small wagon with coffee and donuts, the man had a hearty breakfast to take away the pain in his stomach. A couple days later, Sam woke up to find Sarah sitting on the edge of the bed, watching him intently as he slept. "Good morning, my good girl," the man said cheerfully as he hugged and kissed his lover. "Hi, I'm sorry I'm early, but I have a lot of plans and I need to get everything done. Can you give me some money for shopping and beauty salon?" "I'm sorry, but I don't think that's possible. We have a paycheck in a few days. Can you bear it?" "What do you mean? Don't you have any savings?" Sarah asked in surprise, rolling her eyes. No, I did, but my wife and I spent it on buying a car, and when we saved up again, we renovated the kitchen. So that's it, huh? And you decided to leave the apartment you invested into her? I'm shocked, tripled scandal disgruntled Sarah, realizing that the man has no free money and he cannot give it to her to go to the beauty salon. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's only temporary. Everything is clear with you, replied the girl, and without waiting for Sam, ran off to work. Feeling guilty about his financial inability, the man hurriedly packed and, jumping out of the apartment, decided to make a small pause. Going to the nearest coffee shop, he again took coffee and donuts to get some refreshment. Realizing that the problem needed to be solved and he didn't have any money, Sam decided to call Tony to ask for his help. He had no doubt that his friend would help him, because not so long ago he had helped a colleague when he needed money for a trip to Europe. Morning, you busy? Hi. No, I'm going to work. What do you want? Just something to talk about, but not over the phone. How'd you like me to pick you up? Sam asked me if I'd like some company. I'm all for it, so I'll wait for you. How long till you get there? 10 minutes and I'll be in your yard, Sam answered. He finished his coffee and hurried to his friend's house. Once in the driveway, he called Tony back, telling him he could come down. So what did you want to talk to me about? Tony asked, reminding him that his friend had some important non-phone conversation. Could you lend me some money? Sarah needs to update her closet and go to the beauty salon, and I'm out of money, and I'm 2 days away from payday, Sam answered, explaining the reason for his call and arrival. Oh, she's already demanding money. She was quick to start stringing you along, Tony grinned, realizing that he wasn't wrong about the young cashier. Stop it. Sarah is a young, beautiful, and showy girl. It's quite expected that she needs a lot of attention and money to maintain her image. Oh, I'm afraid you can't afford that beauty, the co-worker continued to banter. I hope it's a one-off. I just didn't expect to run out of money so quickly. I have some for small expenses, but it's not enough to pay for shopping. All right, I hear you. I'll help you. What else can I do with you? Tony replied, realizing that the comrade was in a hopeless situation. Having arrived at work, the man went to the ATM and, while Sam parked the car, withdrew the necessary amount, lending the money to his friend. Thanking his colleague for his help, Sam hurried to the bank and, meeting Sarah, tried to apologize for not giving her the money immediately. The girl was not interested in where her lover got the money from or how he would give it back, because she just got what she wanted, but she was still not satisfied. I hope it's enough for you? Sam asked, realizing that he had given everything he had borrowed. I don't know, it depends on my mood. Don't expect me back early today. I'll be back late tonight. You'll think of something for dinner, but don't forget to leave some for me, Sarah replied, surprising the man with her answer, with an unconcealed insolence and consumerist attitude. Once again thanking his friend for his help, Sam returned to his office and, having received another assignment from his boss, got bogged down in documents and reports for the last month. Near the end of the workday, realizing that the fridge at home was empty, Sam went to the nearest cafe and, having eaten dinner, ordered takeout, realizing that Sarah would return late and hungry. When he arrived home, he left a couple containers of food on the table and went into the living room to watch TV. Noticing how dusty it was, Sam decided to clean it up and started a little wet cleaning. At about 10 p.m., he heard the front door open and some noise. When he stepped out into the hallway, he noticed Sarah, who had returned from shopping and was struggling to stand. Hi, where have you been? Shopping, I told you about that. Yes, you did, but you can barely stand, and you smell like alcohol, Sam said indignantly. I met up with some friends. We decided to go to karaoke. We talked, had a few drinks. Couldn't you have called or warned me? Do I have to answer to you? I'm a single girl, you're not my husband, and I'm not your spouse, so it's none of your business. Is that so? So if I'm not your husband, I can do whatever I want? Yeah, I can do whatever I want. In fact, be thankful I let you live in my apartment, added a tipsy Sarah. We even talked like that. So I'm your freeloader living in someone else's place? All right, Sam was boiling and started to freak out, realizing that the girl was also trying to reproach him. Angry, the man gave up cleaning and, having collected himself, left the house. Jumping out into the street, Sam wanted to take a little walk and unwind, but a half-hour walk did not improve the situation. Sarah had never called him or tried to talk to him, which made Sam even angrier, because he had hoped that she would come to her senses and start calling, trying to make up. Realizing that she didn't think she was to blame for what had happened, Sam went to the nearest bar and got terribly drunk, knocking back one drink after another. "I'm sorry, but maybe you've had enough?" the waitress asked, noticing that the man had had too much to drink. "What do you care? I'm paying, so bring another bottle," Sam replied in a boorish manner, wanting to keep drinking. "You're right, it's none of my business. Maybe I can help you? Tell me, what happened to you?" asked a young girl with brown and bright as buttons eyes and lush breasts, standing out against the background of low height and slim waist. "Maybe you can," Sam replied with a smirk, examining the girl from head to toe. "Are you going to tell me what happened?" the waitress asked. "Oh, if you only knew how tired I am of everything going on in my personal life. First, my wife did not let me breathe easy, making me nauseous with her attention and care. And now my mistress is stringing me up, and nerves on my fist. I'm sick of it all. I don't want anything else," Sam said, pouring out his soul to the waitress. The girl did not advise, but just supported the man, trying to distract him from all the problems with a neutral conversation. In the morning, Sam woke up with a terrible headache and felt his mouth dry. Opening his eyes, the man was shocked, for he found himself in an apartment unknown to him. Lifting the blanket, he was surprised even more, because he was lying in someone else's bed in his underwear. Hearing the pleasant aroma of coffee and the sounds coming from the kitchen, Sam wrapped himself in the blanket and wandered to the clatter of pots coming from a few meters away. Once in the kitchen, the man was no less surprised, for in front of him was a waitress in a short robe, making coffee. I'm sorry, what am I doing here?" Sam asked, awkwardly making his presence known. "Oh, you're awake already? Sit down, we're having breakfast. Do you want a pill for your head, or are you going to be patient?" "Yes, if I may. Are you going to answer my question?" "Don't you remember anything? We were so good together," the waitress said and winked, which scared Sam even more. "Did we have something?" the man asked modestly. "Come on, I'm kidding. We didn't have anything. You just had too much to drink last night and couldn't give me your home address. I couldn't call a cab, so I had to drag you to my place," the girl replied with a laugh, explaining how he had ended up in her apartment. You scared me." "I'm sorry, I meant it as a joke. Do you even remember my name?" "Honestly, I don't." "I'm not surprised. I'm Cindy," the girl introduced herself. "And my name is Sam," the man replied. "Yes, I remember, but unlike you, I haven't had anything to drink, so I don't have a memory problem," Cindy replied as she continued to laugh at Sam trying to remember last night. "Thank you so much, Cindy. You're a real gift, and I owe you a debt of gratitude," the man replied, thanking the girl for welcoming him and for not abandoning him in his time of need. "Come on, it's not a big deal. I understand," Cindy replied calmly, as if this was not the first time in her career. After eating breakfast and thanking the girl again for her help, Sam went to the bar to pick up his car and head to work. After parking the car, the man headed to the bank, realizing that he was already a little late. What he feared most was the anger of the chief who had noticed his tardiness, but as it turned out, it was something else entirely to fear. As soon as Sam stepped over the threshold of the bank, Sarah rushed over to him and punched him in the face. "Where have you been? Admit where you've been." "Calm down, I was at the hotel. I thought we should calm down so we don't fight even more," Sam replied, deciding that the truth would only make the scandal worse. "Don't lie. Did you find a new mistress, or did you crawl to your wife on your knees?" "Admit it," Sarah continued to shout angrily, ignoring the fact that all members of the staff and visitors who had come to the bank early had witnessed what was happening. "I'm telling you honestly, I wasn't at anyone's house. Don't make it up." "Yeah, because I don't know you, dog. Come clean before I hit you again." Sam, what's going on here?" loudly asked Andrew, who arrived at work and became a casual witness of the ongoing scandal. "Hello, sorry," changing her tone, Sarah greeted the boss, and realizing that her behavior could be a reason for her dismissal, returned to her workplace. "Sorry, it won't happen again," Sam added and also tried to leave. "Stop. Sam, I'll see you in my office in a minute," Andrew said in an orderly tone and left for his office. Sam wanted to run away or hide somewhere, but he realized that it wouldn't make his situation any better. Going to the office of his boss, the lawyer prepared for the worst, realizing that he could be fired for such scandals and relations in the workplace. "Can I come in?" Sam asked timidly, knocking on the chief's office. Yes, come in and close the door behind you, the boss replied dryly. You wanted to see me? Sam, you're a grown man, so I won't go around in circles, and I'll tell you straight. If this situation happens again at work, I'll fire you. Because the company's image is paramount. Remember, you can sleep with whoever you want, but you keep your personal business outside the bank. Yes, I understand. I promise it won't happen again, Sam replied and calmed down a little, realizing that the chief warns but won't punish. Back at his workplace, the man worked hard and finished his paperwork earlier than usual. Leaving the bank as early as possible, Sam hurries home and orders food on the way. After taking the order, he waits for Sarah and cleans up the kitchen to meet the girl and try to make up with her. Hearing the door slam, Sam picks up a bouquet of roses and heads into the hallway to meet the girl back from the bank. What the hell is this? Sarah asked in a still disgruntled voice. I'm sorry about the fight last night. I didn't want to lose you, and it was my fault. I hope you won't be mad at me, Sam replied, apologizing for not spending the night at home. Okay, I forgive you for the first time, the girl replied, though she was still not in the best of spirits. Shall we go to dinner? I ordered you seafood pasta, you like it, Sam said, hoping that he had pleased her with dinner. Good for you, you're getting better, Sarah replied, realizing that Sam was under her thumb. Reconciling, the couple had dinner and went to bed. A couple of days later, they decided to consolidate their reconciliation and booked a table in a restaurant, went to dinner, then went to the nearest nightclub to have some fun and dance. So imperceptibly another week passed, full of drive and adventure that Sam and his wife were sorely missing. Waking up Saturday morning, Sam once again sees Sarah in front of him, staring at him intently, and realizes it's for a reason. Hi, I take it you need money again? Asked the man who was used to the morning puppy dog eyes of his mistress demanding money for small expenses. Yes, you guessed it. It's my friend's birthday, so I need to buy her a present. Besides, I need to buy a new dress. So you have 2 closets full of dresses. Yeah, but they're all old, and I need a new one to impress the guests. You don't want your sweetheart to wear rags, do you? No, I don't, but I don't have the money right now. What do you mean you don't? The salary was just recently. Where have you already spent the money? Sarah asked with open discontent. I paid Tony back the money I borrowed from him last time so you could go shopping into the beauty parlor. Yeah, I never thought I'd be living with a pauper. Not only can't you make a decent living, but you're going to live on borrowed money? Or do you think I'm going to support you? Don't make up nonsense. Now I'll sink a little, and everything will be fine, Sam answered, trying to calm the girl and trying to nip the emerging scandal in the bud. Are you kidding me? I didn't take you away from your family to save money. I need a normal man, and if you are so pathetic, I will find someone who can provide for me, Sarah replied sharply, not giving a chance to solve the conflict peacefully. You stupid bitch, Sam blurted out and jumped up from the bed and started packing his things into the suitcase on the doorstep. Once he was dressed, he left the apartment and said it was over between them. Going down to the street, the man decided to have a smoke to calm down a bit and let go of the situation. Realizing that he had nowhere to live, Sam decided to call his best friend because he was the only one who could help him. Hey Tony, I'm sorry it's so early, but I'm in a difficult situation and you're the only one who can help. Hi, what's up? Can I stay with you for a while? I'll tell you all about it when I see you. No problem, come on over. I understand that the conversation will be long and not very pleasant, so on the way buy a beer and a white, so that the conversation would be more heartfelt, answered Tony, anticipating Sam's story about his problems in his personal life. Okay, I'll be there in a couple of hours, Sam answered and went to the supermarket to buy everything he needed. So tell me about it, Tony said, organizing a small clearing in the kitchen. Oh, I don't know where to start. I've had a crazy last few weeks. Start with the main thing. I take it you've already broken up with Sarah? Tony suggested, considering the fact that his friend had asked to stay with him. Yeah, she's an insufferable person. How did you not notice that before? While we were seeing each other occasionally, everything was perfect. The bed brought us together, but when you live together, there has to be something other than her. She's stupid, limited, has no hobbies, no favorite activities. No, she loves to spend my money, but judging by her appetites, I should be at least the owner of our bank, not an ordinary lawyer. Sam poured out his soul, talking about how difficult the relationship with a young mistress, unable to clean the apartment or cook breakfast. Well, to be honest, I'm not surprised. You can tell she's not cut out for the kitchen, or rather, she's armless and thinks in the wrong place. I'm sorry, but you should have left Dina for nothing, because such good women are hard to find and almost impossible to conquer. You had everything you could dream of, but you wanted a thrill. You're gonna lecture me? No, I'm sick of being lectured. Don't remind me about Dina. I don't want to talk about her, Sam replied sharply, not wanting to discuss his personal life anymore. After some more sitting and drinking, the men decided to watch soccer and rest, so imperceptibly past the weekend and colleagues went to work. Realizing that nothing else holds him, Sam waited until the end of the working day and, meeting Tony on the doorstep of the bank, decided to talk to him. How would you feel about going to a bar and relaxing for a while? What's the occasion? The beginning of my bachelorhood. I think it's the best excuse to relax and have a drink. You're not divorced from Dina yet. It doesn't matter. I'm free and I want to rock. Are you in or what? I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to pass. I wanted to see Emma tonight, and I promised her I'd spend the evening with her. Emma? You're in touch with her? Sam asked in surprise. Yeah, ever since I met her. I have to admit that Dina is a very interesting and pleasant friend, and I feel really good around her. Don't worry about her. Let's relax, Sam said, realizing that his plans for the evening were being ruined. I'm sorry, but no. Let's do it some other time. Don't wait for me tonight. I'll be late, Tony replied, and after saying goodbye to his friend, he left towards the parking lot. Getting into the car, the man decided to call Emma to see if they were still on. Hi, how are you? You working? Hi. No, I was just getting off work. Oh, that's great. Is our meeting still on, or do you have other plans? No, I want to meet you too. Are you coming to my work, or can you come by the house later? I can come over now, I'm free. Great, then I'll be waiting for you. Emma replied and decided to get on with her business so that the wait would be as quick and unnoticeable as possible. Half an hour later, Tony arrived at the beauty salon and, upon meeting Emma, presented her with a beautiful bouquet of roses. Wow, so unexpected. Are those for me? Of course it's for you. You're a beautiful girl and you deserve to be given flowers. Thank you, it's my pleasure, Emma replied, kissing Tony on the cheek. After talking some more, the couple went to a restaurant to have dinner. So, can we not cut our beautiful evening short and go to your place? Unfortunately, it won't work, Tony replied with a sad expression on his face. Why not? You don't want to, or is there some other reason? I want to, I really want to, but Sam is staying at my place and I can't go to my place. Sam's staying with you? What about his mistress? Oh, it's a whole story. You went to live with this Sarah girl, but she was a demanding girl. From day one, he didn't have enough money for her every whim, and soon it became the cause of constant scandals, both on and off the job. Eventually, she told him she deserved better, and Sam, taking it to heart, packed up and left. I'm a friend and I couldn't say no, so I took him in. Yeah, trading Dina for the dubious pleasure of a few weeks is a talent. Well, let's go to my place, said Emma, who didn't want to leave Tony. Great idea, the man agreed happily, feeling that their sympathy and attraction was mutual. Meanwhile, Sam, realizing that his friend had completely different plans, decided to have some fun on his own. Going to a bar, the man had a few drinks and became sad, realizing that not only the girls, but also his friend does not care about him. At some point, he noticed a familiar waitress and decided to talk to her, offering to spend time together. Waiting for the girl to approach him, Sam drank a little more to gain courage for a frank dialogue. Hi, alone again tonight? Cindy asked, walking over to Sam's table. Hi, yeah, as you can see. How would you like me to wait for you after work? That's okay, but I get off really late, so where you want to go? The girl asked. How about your place? Your apartment seemed to me very cozy, and I'm sure that we will find something to do to have an interesting time. Why not? I don't mind, Cindy replied, realizing that she was a free girl, and there was nothing to stop her from going out and taking Sam in again, but for a closer relationship. A few hours later, Cindy was free. They ordered a cab and the couple went to her house for some bedroom privacy. In the morning, waking up to the aroma of coffee, Sam hurried to the kitchen and, after having breakfast with the girl, exchanged numbers with her to call and meet again the other day. Noticing that it was 8 in the morning, Sam said goodbye to Cindy and hurried to work. Closer to his lunch break, he met up with Tony, and after grabbing a cup of coffee, The men decided to talk to discuss last night. How was your date with Emma? Sam asked. You know, it was fine and even better than I expected. I'm sorry I didn't spend the night at home. I hope you weren't bored alone, Tony replied. To be honest, I didn't sleep over either, so it's fine. Oh well, where have you been? My friend asked curiously. I met a beautiful waitress in a bar a few days ago, and yesterday I decided that our communication could be closer and more pleasant for both of us, Sam answered, telling about his new girlfriend. Wow, you just broke up with Sarah and you got a new girlfriend. Yeah, I can do that. Now I'll live the same life as you, becoming an inveterate bachelor, Sam replied with a satisfied look on his face. That's not the point, Tony said meaningfully and thought for a moment, realizing that he'd much rather be with Emma than changing girls like a glove. Not finding understanding and support in his conversation with his friend, Sam didn't give up, believing that he was on the right track. Continuing to work hard, the man does not miss the opportunity to drink and have fun, having fun in a bar, karaoke, or nightclub. Realizing that doing all this alone is boring enough for him, Sam decides to call Cindy to ask her out. Hey, how are you? What are you doing? Hi, I'm good. I'm cooking in the kitchen. What about you? Just finishing up some stuff for tonight and thought we could get together. How would you feel about going out? I'd love to, but there's no way in the next couple days. I'm away at my parents' house, so I'll be back the day after tomorrow, Cindy replied, forcing herself to cancel the meeting. Okay, well, I'll see you the day after tomorrow, Sam answered and hummed up. Deciding that this wouldn't stop him, the man went to the same bar to have another drink. At some point, he noticed a lonely stranger drinking alone in the far corner and, gathering courage, decided to approach her and get acquainted. Hello, pretty lady. Why are you alone? What's it to you? I'm in grief, answered the girl who didn't like Sam's question. Maybe I want to help you and cheer you up. Can you do that? I'm sure I can. Tell me what's going on. Let's use the you word, cause I feel awkward. It would be nice to know your name, Sam replied, trying to pick up a stranger. My name is Natalie, she replied. Very nice to meet you, and my name is Sam. So what happened? My boyfriend of 3 years dumped me. We were about to get married, but at the last minute it turned out he cheated on me with my best friend. So now I'm sitting here drinking my grief away. Yeah, it's sad, but don't feel bad. You're a very beautiful girl, and I'm sure you'll easily find a replacement. Maybe you deserve a lot more, and if he didn't appreciate you, he didn't deserve you, Sam replied, trying to support Natalie. As they talked, the couple chatted sweetly and drank. If you want, I could give you my strong shoulder, and maybe not only that, Sam tried to hint at intimacy with a greasy hint. Why not? Agreed the girl, who didn't mind spending the night with a nice-looking man. Leaving the bar and catching a cab, the couple went to Natalie's house. In the morning, Sam woke up to the fact that the girl started pushing him and chasing him out of the apartment. What is it? What's wrong? Opening his eyes, Sam asked, not understanding why Natalie was trying to chase him away. My parents will be here soon. You have to go, she answered, explaining that her parents were at the cottage and decided to come back early. Okay, I'm getting up now, Sam replied and started to get ready, so as not to get into an awkward situation. Let's hurry up, the girl hurried him. Can we meet again tonight? Sam asked, suggesting another meeting while Cindy went to her parents' house. No, that was out of the question. What happened tonight was a mistake. Yeah, I broke up with a guy and I was bitter. You were able to calm me down, but it was a one-time thing and you got lucky. I'm sorry, but you're out of luck since you're not my type and I just had too much to drink. You were the first one to approach me, so I guess you could say I was just getting back at my boyfriend by leveling the playing field on cheating. So you used me? Yeah, you could say that. Natalie answered, and as soon as Sam put on his shoes, pushed him out into the stairwell, slamming the door behind him. The man's self-esteem was hurt by this attitude, and he wanted to sass back, but he didn't have time to do it because the girl had locked herself inside, and Sam didn't want to meet her parents. He went back downstairs to the bar and ordered a bottle of beer to help him recover. Remembering that today was a work day, the man hurried to work and locked himself in his office so he wouldn't see his boss. To his misfortune, the boss called Sam to his office and, hearing the unpleasant smell of alcohol, reprimanded him, warning that any subsequent misconduct was a dismissal by article. Hi, are you in town yet? Sam asked, calling Cindy at the end of the workday. Yeah, I'm back already. You want to meet me at the bar or what? Yeah, In an hour, would that be okay with you? Okay, I'll be waiting for you, replied the girl. Soon Sam arrived at the meeting place and, trying to adjust his ego, decided to offer the girl a relationship. How do you feel about us starting to date? Are you serious now? Cindy asked in surprise, clearly not expecting such a question. Yeah, why not? You're a nice, pretty, and fun girl. I'm sure we won't get bored. I don't disagree, but how can I put it? I would never date someone like you. No offense, but you're an asshole and a womanizer who lost his wife and couldn't even get along with his mistress. You're fine for a couple of meetings, but never a relationship, Cindy replied, and realizing that was the end of their conversation, walked away behind the bar. Sam didn't stick around either, as he felt like he didn't need anyone. Back home, he waited for Tony and told him what had happened. Can you believe it? It turns out I'm not worthy of dating her, Sam said indignantly, summarizing his story. Yeah, it happens. I don't have good news for you either, Tony replied. What do you want to tell me? I went out with Emma a couple hours ago. After looking at the bachelor life from the outside, I realized it's not for me and it's time to call it quits. Emma's the perfect girl, and she's easy to be around. Anyway, she and I have decided to move in together, so you're gonna have to move out. Is that what you do to your best friend? You're kicking a friend out on the street? No, you have a few days to find a place to live, Tony replied, apologizing to his friend again. Okay, Sam replied, realizing that he had to solve this problem. After a little thought, he realized that the only option left was to go back to Dina and ask for her forgiveness. They were still not divorced, so there was a chance she would forgive him and take him back. After buying flowers on the way out, Sam drove home a month after the last time he talked to his wife. Hey, what are you doing here? Dina was surprised to see her husband on the doorstep. Hi, forgive me, I was a fool, but I realized everything and I want to correct myself. I really need you, Sam replied. I'm sorry, but it's too late. You chose someone else, so there's nothing more to talk about. Yes, I was convenient for you, but you've lost everything you had and there's no turning back. And I have one more piece of news for you. I'm leaving for the capital next week, as I've been offered a job at a local gallery. Forgive me, he said once again, and falling to his knees, began to cry in front of his wife, tearfully begging to let him back in. I'm filing for divorce, so don't come here anymore, Dina replied, pushing her husband away, grabbing her leg and closing the door in his face. A couple of weeks later, Dina left for the capital and, after getting a job at the local museum, started her life with a clean slate.
Thank you for watching this video to the end. Subscribe to the channel. Like it, write comments if you like the story, and see you on the channel.